A federal initiative to identify illegal immigrants through enhanced fingerprint checking at local jails is in place throughout Virginia. It's called the Secure Communities Program, and Virginia is one of 22 states in it at this point. Previously, fingerprints of people charged with crimes were checked against a criminal history database maintained by the FBI. Now they also will be run through an immigration database maintained by the Department of Homeland Security. And joining us now to discuss the program is Virginia Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli. Attorney General, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be with you, Bob.
Now explain in a little more detail this program, how it worked before and what's different about it now with the DHS database.
Well, first of all, as you had mentioned, whenever we have an arrest, criminal arrest, those fingerprints get run through the FBI database. They run through Virginia's first, which plugs into the FBI database. What we're adding, and Virginia is one of only 2 states to have coverage throughout the state. The other is Delaware. We're the largest state, obviously, and so all of our law enforcement will now get the benefit of running those through the Department of Homeland Security database, where they have immigration flags, where they check for doubled up Social Security numbers, where they have names of folks who've had deportation proceedings in the past, because some people get deported and come back. That's more common among criminals than it is ordinary illegal aliens. But this gives us a new tool, and then depending on the crime they're charged with and their rap sheet, if you will, DHS, ICE will come pick them up. They are at this time telling us they're going to come get folks who commit what they consider to be level 1, 2, and 3 crimes. Rape, murder would be level 1. 2, you're talking about things like armed robbery. 3 is serious property crimes, so high dollar amounts. The low level, most misdemeanors are not going to qualify for ICE coming to pick them up. Now, from my perspective, we'd like to see them all picked up. What we're hoping is that this program works effectively and efficiently. There are some parts of Virginia that are already using this through 287G agreements with ICE, where they have locally trained folks who actually start the deportation process. So in Virginia, we've got an edge on some other states, and of course, as I mentioned, this will be statewide for us.
Now, when you mentioned, I guess they wouldn't be doing this unless they've already been convicted of some of these serious level crimes?
Correct. That's actually an interesting question. The conviction is going to be key, but if we pull someone in...
These are previous convictions?
Previous convictions,
right. And what about
or
the
charged with.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
The first look will be at what they're charged with. But if we get someone in on a misdemeanor who's got a previous serious crime, I would expect ICE would grab those folks as well. Now, when I say grab them, they're going to serve their time first and then be deported.
Now, are they being caught through the fingerprints? Because obviously most illegal immigrants, I would think, wouldn't have fingerprints on file with the U.S.
Right, except our repeat offenders. Fingerprints will be helpful in that respect, but it's identification, Social Security numbers. When they start to double up, you see, by double up I mean if you run your Social Security number and it runs through their database and say, wait a minute, we've got 2 or 3 people on this Social Security number, well, a red flag goes up. That is a common problem for illegals using false identifications. And also there's green card identification numbers. And people with a green card are legal residents, so they're fine, aside from committing a crime. But those are some of the other tools that DHS has available that the FBI does not.
Now, I also understand to change topics. July 1st, a pivotal point is coming up in the state's case against the federal government involving the health care bill.
Yes, we have oral argument in front of Judge Hudson in Richmond, 10 a.m. on July 1st. Yesterday, we received the federal government's last brief in the case, their reply brief in their attempt to dismiss the case. We're cautiously optimistic that we will prevail, but the argument is the last piece before the judge decides it, and that'll happen next week on July 1st, 1 hour for each side.
All right. We'll be looking to see what happens with that. Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
And now let's send it to Mel.